So thank you for coming to MacGroup-Detroit, our January 2018 meeting. We're really happy that everyone was able to make it today. We're going to open up our Q&A session to get started. If anyone has any questions, please stand up and wait for us to point to you, and then loudly tell us your question.
Okay.
Hi.
I have two questions. Question number one. I get this little deal up screen periodic.
Sure, please approach the bench. Will you allow this?
I will allow this.
Yes, Your Honor. I keep getting that. And
Okay.
every time I go through the process and upgrade and everything, for about a day, it's fine. Then I keep getting again.
Sure. So when it's looking, something in your system is still using Java.
Yeah.
So when you go through this, when you download it, where are you downloading this update from? From Apple's website or from the Java site?
The Java site.
Okay. I have an answer for you and a solution
Go.
all at once. What you want to do is you want to go to the Apple website. Under support, there is something known as the Java Update 2015. If you download it from there, it will make this message go away forever. If you download it from the Java website, it doesn't fix the issue. Apple actually put out a thing saying, to use the Java command line tool, you need to install a JDK. If you do it from the Apple support website, that's what you want to have. It's always, when you type in Java update on the Apple support site, it's the first hit, usually. You download that file, install it, and this goes away forever.
Right, well done.
So,
Tomorrow morning, first thing. That's the first
there
thing
you
I'm
go.
gonna do.
Perfect.
Okay.
I'm going to save this if you don't mind. Thank you. And your second question
Next
is?
question. I was talking with a friend of mine who's going to buy a Windows machine, an upgrade, because he's buying another laptop. And I'm trying to get him into Mac.
Okay.
Like talking to the wall. But anyway, he was telling me about the 8th generation Intel Core i7 processor,
Okay.
which is what he's going to have in the new machine that he's buying. How does that compare with what we are doing as far as speed, ability to do multitasking, that sort of thing?
That would be a really good question to ask.
And I'm asking.
Yeah. Do you know what, I don't know what code name they gave the 8th generation Intel processors. Because in the Apple world, 8th generation doesn't tell me anything right off the bat. But if somebody was to say, oh, this is a Kaby Lake processor or something along those lines, that would let me know, is that the most recent version? You would have to do a comparison with processor speeds. I would think that there are a number of PC hardware sites online that you could do that comparison, like Geekbench would probably be able to let you see the difference between the 7th generation chip and the 8th generation chip and tell you, okay, well, and it should list what those chips are in, whether it's a Windows machine or a Mac. And I would say I would start there just for comparison. There is a hand raised up behind your head. Mr. Cutler seems to possibly have an answer.
I would recommend going on our bulletin board and address the question to Mr. Beckman.
Yeah, Jack would probably be a really good quick answer. Unfortunately,
I know
yes, he does.
I know that the newer one has probably got faster single core performance, but it doesn't make any difference to me because it's not an Mac yet.
Yeah. So if he's looking for just sheer horsepower, yeah, there's always something faster. And if you wait long enough, it'll come by and go past you while you're waiting for the next generation. So if he's looking for long-term, obviously I would recommend an Apple product versus a Windows product, but that's him. You
There's a lot
know.
of people who swear
Yeah.
that they
Right. You can drag a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
Yeah, the other question that, feedback for you, did you ask him what applications he uses?
Yeah, he doesn't, not much of a computer guy. I told him it's easier. Oh, no, I wanted to.
Well, the latest release of Excel finally fixed this disappearing scroll bars and something else that was really irritating. I've been using Excel for years on both platforms until Office 2016. I was happy with it. They, as of yesterday or the day before, they fixed that. So you can do mail, you can do Exchange, you can do Microsoft Office. There's, for an average user, there isn't anything you can't do with a very small set of stock third party. So that's part of the discussion you can have. The other part of the discussion is, do you want me to support you? Or are you going to find your support somewhere else? And don't, you know, you don't have any skin in that. You just want to know. Because if he wants your support, he has this choice. If he's going to get his support elsewhere, then he won't come with MacGroup.
No, that's not the case. What I'm saying, he wants to buy a computer. Give it back, and I didn't have a real answer. So I wanted to maybe get some sort of find out if it's same speed.
I can answer that if you'd like.
Please.
The 8th generation is on coffee lake.
Okay.
And if you look at an article that pops up in a Google by Laptop Magazine, you would expect it to be notably faster than one before. Performance data between the latest 8th generation and 7th goes up. So you can do an easy Google search, get a number of people who comparison. The likelihood for someone of the sort that you're describing here is not likely to perhaps be as focused on performance ordinary.
He's an ordinary computer user.
Okay.
Email, that's what.
Just basic tasks.
He won't be able to tell the difference as long as he has his
Yeah.
policy. That's the only caveat I'll give you, because Dell will still sell you this rotation.
Yeah. You have options. So does he. Thank you very much. Next question. Yes, sir. Nice to see your face again.
Yeah, I'm back from heart surgery. Had to do the aorta valve and bypass in September. Talking to Dave before, I don't know if anybody else has had this problem, but every once in a while, they want me to, I don't know who they are, but it's supposed to be Apple. My password. A couple of times I gave it, nothing new ever happened. Since then, I get it about every other day and I cancel. Has anybody else had that situation happen?
So you said it was coming. It was just like the pop-up window, and it shows your Apple ID, and it's just asking you to enter your password in. So it looks like the legit, normal site that Apple would ask for it. The more I thought about it, it could be Apple has been updating their data centers, and even they just announced that they're breaking a brand new one in Reno. It is possible that during maintenance, something's just hiccuping, and it's repeatedly asking you for your password. Like I suggested before, perhaps a phone call to AppleCare to say, how come this keeps coming up? And maybe they can give you a more definitive answer. Might be a good idea, and I would also recommend that to anyone else. A few of us here have gotten emails along similar lines over the past week, which, give me a second, this is it, up on the screen. I got this email the other day, and you'll note that the grammar is atrocious, missing words, and everything just doesn't make sense. The return address is no_reply@apple.com, which is not a legit Apple email address. So if you tried to respond to it, it would just bounce and go nowhere. But down in red where it says save it for me, if you hover over that, you will see the website that it takes you to. That is not Apple. Not at all. I believe it was something like borbat.com/m, which makes no sense to me, but I know that that's not an Apple site. One, Apple is too fussy to make typos, and also incorrect grammar. There is no Apple logo anywhere on this. Everything is just suspect at best. So if you got this email, my recommendation is throw it away, mark it as trash or junk, whatever you want to do. It's a spam thing. So you could send it to Apple at spam@apple.com. Just forward it to them and then delete it off your computer. Because we really don't want you to click on this link, because as you see, they're asking you, they say, we may ask you for additional information as a measure of security to ensure that the account holder. Okay, that one, it makes no sense to say that. And two, Apple's not going to do this. You're not going to see this.
A good operational security approach, if you think an Apple password is needed, enter it in your iCloud preferences if you're not logged out. Enter it into your iTunes Store preferences. Don't ever enter it in for an unsolicited message like this.
Right.
I don't even enter my iCloud password after I do an upgrade, and it wants my password before it even sets up my account. I always skip that, especially during an upgrade. And if there's a problem, I go and re-enter the password in the iCloud preference. Otherwise, I just simply don't bother, and that goes for password for mail. If it says you need to change your password for mail.com, log on to https://mail.com and change your password there. You don't do it unsolicited. Ever.
Right.
That's the
And
operations.
your mail on your computer is going to want you to enter that password in through internet accounts anyways. So you can just go there and do it from there. If you get a pop-up saying, hey, we need your password, always treat it as something that might be a scam, because chances are it is. So.
You gotta know I have to mention Robofest.
Of course, it wouldn't be a meeting without Robofest.
Yep, we're in our new season again. Robofest.net is a website, and in February, I think it's the third Saturday, training judges. We always need judges. And then starting in March, the new season begins. Quite a few sites are available.
Okay, fantastic. All right.
Don, could you send me that information so that I can post it? About the training for judges in the Robofest?
And I just wanted to add to the discussion prior to my calendar. I even had a similar message telephone. They offer me an option.
Right.
Wow.
Good call, because that happens a lot.
I had a couple from the IRS.
Yeah, well, yeah. Phyllis likes to get the ones from Microsoft telling her that her Windows are not running correctly. That's her favorite phone call. So, Richard?
I have, your bank account is suspended.
Yeah,
And it's from bank site, I don't have any account.
right. Yeah, I get a lot of things from Chase all the time. I don't have a Chase account. Or Bank of America.
5 or 6 banks.
Okay.
Yeah, I got something to that either from Yahoo or Hotmail.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, there are scams for everything. This time of year, the IRS scams are kicking in. Everybody's looking to get in. I will tell you my personal pet peeve, because I do use Facebook, is seeing all these people saying, put down the first car you ever drove and what year it was. Or, do you remember this? What's the name of your favorite teacher? And they try to make it all warm. But that is a scam to try to mine data about what your answer security questions could be for your passwords. And every time I see it from a family member, I explain to them, you're no longer going to be a family member if you continue doing these things. Because, again, it's just another way for people to use social media to try and take advantage of people that, oh yeah, I remember my first car, because they have good feelings about it, or bad feelings, but that's where that is. So that's where we are. Do we have any more questions? Could you take the mic from Richard, please? Thank you.
Battery.
Yes. Yes. I would like to address this topic to our group. So thank you very much for bringing that up. Okay. If you have an iPhone 6, 6S, 6 Plus, 6S Plus, 7 or 7 Plus, or iPhone SE, if you have one of those phones, Apple has a program where you can get a battery instead of $79, you can get it for $29. This program was supposed to start end of this month. Someone in corporate decided to roll this program out on January 2nd. So, for a company that likes to deal with logistics in a really good way, this was a fail. Because I will tell you, my life has been a living hell since January 2nd. So most people here know that, oh, I needed to go to the Genius Bar for something. Let me book an appointment online and I can go in at my time and I'm all good. I cannot tell you how many people just run to the store to get their battery replaced. I will tell you that a lot of batteries are not in stock. The whole point of it being rolled out at the end of the month was so we would have a good inventory to help people. What Apple is doing, because they do not have the batteries in stock, they are creating a part order for that battery for that customer. And they're saying, when it comes in, we will contact you and you can come back and we will put that battery in your phone and it'll only cost you $29. I would say 8 out of 10 people that come in our store do not need a battery because we run a diagnostic and we will replace your battery whether it passes or fails diagnostic if you really want to. But I can tell you there are a ton of people that are coming in and their batteries are well north of 85% full charge capacity. That's still a great battery. There's nothing wrong with that. And then we find out that they have software running in the background that is draining the battery, and that's why they're charging twice a day. So we recommend a restore first and foremost, and we'll help them do it if they have a backup. And they'll get up and running, and they don't need a battery today. We can order one for them, and we'll tell them when it comes in. Once we contact you, you have 5 days to come in to get it replaced, and then you'll pay for the battery then. It's a pretty good deal. Do you need to spend $30 today? Probably not. Now, if you have an iPhone 6 Plus or a 6S Plus, the two larger sizes, Apple has no batteries in stock at the moment. The tentative date for replenishment of these batteries is end of March, early April. So I get to have a lot of
Irate.
I was trying to think of a nicer word.
Disgruntled?
Annoyed? Disappointed. That's a better word. Yes.
There is a little free app, called Battery Life,
Yes.
that will let people know how good their battery is.
Right.
Or how bad. I have a 6 and mine is 100.
Yeah. So we get a lot of that. This app is free. It's there. Apple is going to put out a software update that is pretty much going to mimic that app and be on your phone so you can see what kind of health it really has. The dilemma here is, if you go to a store, please make an appointment. If you have friends that say, oh, I've got to go get my battery, this program runs till December 31st. Okay? December 31st is many, many months away. We are encouraging a lot of folks whose battery passes and we restore their phone, come see us in the fall. Because if you want to spend $29 for a battery then, no problem, we'll do it. We'll have them in stock. Because right now, every Apple store, a typical iPhone repair, whether it's a cracked screen or a battery or a speaker replacement, whatever that can be done, most stores, average turnaround time is 2 hours. Since this rolled out for the stores that did have batteries or are getting the batteries in, you can double that time. Because it is once the store opens, there is a line of phones twice the length of this table. And that starts when the store opens at 10, and they're there till 8 o'clock. And then we're still fixing phones right up till 9 o'clock. Some people have to leave it overnight because, they came in at 8 o'clock and there's just no way we can get it done, but we'll try. So if you know someone that wants to get their battery done, please, from my bottom of my heart, ask them to make an appointment before going in, and ask them to call AppleCare before they go in, because AppleCare can run the diagnostic over the phone with them and order them a battery. So that way it saves them a trip and the disappointment of, oh, we don't have it in stock. We'll call you in 2 months when it comes in. Because for most people, it's not that critical of an issue. For the folks that are, Apple's trying to find other ways around it. And you can also let them know that if they don't have a backup, there's a good chance that they might lose everything on their phone. And they will not get a loaner phone while their phone is being repaired. So it's a case of, at my store, we tell people, go see a movie and come back when it's done. Because it's going to be at least 2 hours minimum. So thank you for bringing that up. That is a wonderful public service announcement that we were able to get out, and we will probably be repeating that every meeting until next January, just to make sure everyone is aware of this. Okay? So thank you so much. Yes, Richard?
Yeah, does the Apple website have listed?
Yes. It's on the Apple website. If you have a 5, a 5C, a 5S, it's not covered. If you have an 8 or a 10, please don't be that person to say, I need a new battery for $29. You don't need a new battery. But we've had people sit down, they've just purchased the phone. Okay, I want my $29 battery. It's brand new. Don't. So that's where we are. So,
Why aren't those?
because they're not part of the program. They can't run the latest software, and that's where the issue came in. Apple, in one of the updates after iOS 11 came out, for phones that were having degraded batteries or consumed batteries, instead of having the phone randomly shut off, they throttled the performance of that so the phone would stay powered on. And that's typically for people that are streaming video on the phone, playing heavy-duty games, which causes peaks of power to be used. And if the battery is consumed or on the worn out side, that was the issue that was going on. The phone would shut off. So Apple, in an attempt to make it right, said, well, we'll put this update out. Well, people were upset that phones were shutting off. People were upset that the phones are now being throttled a little bit because the battery doesn't live up to everything. Geekbench ran tests and showed that. That's when the program came out after that hit the news. And now Geekbench is showing, oh, geez, you get a new battery in there and you're back to full power again. So that makes a lot of people happy. So Steve, you're the last question because we need to get started.
The program is not retroactive.
No. If you had a battery put in your phone, I believe December 17th till January 2nd, you can contact AppleCare and they will work on a refund for you. If you had your battery put in on December 13th, sorry, you're out of luck. And AppleCare can explain that to you should you have more questions. So